So this week is essentially Nintendo Week. We have the big direct on Wednesday, but before we get basically our entire feeds flooded with that new information, I wanted to cover something that came out today that relates to something that came out a couple weeks ago that I missed. The Sinking City is getting a remaster, and I absolutely love it. Now, this isn't a review of the original game because there's a lot of videos that go over that, and I will probably make one as we get closer to its sequel, because if you're like me, this remaster news also made me aware that apparently we're getting a second game. So this game came out 5 years ago now, which is crazy because I remember when this came out and IGN gave it a review and people were really mad. But the Sinking City Remastered is going to include enhanced visuals, a new photo mode. It's going to be getting an Unreal Engine 5 upgrade. And then they say, and there's going to be more to it than just that. They really didn't go over too much with this remastered and the breaking news. Essentially, if you never played the Sinking City, it is a Lovecraftian action horror game based off of Cthulhu. And one of my favorite over-the-top realism games I think I've ever played. If you don't know, I basically, throughout this channel, I've said it before, I call a lot of things outlandish or over-the-top realism when they focus on ideas that just really are out there. For example, Cthulhu and Sinking City are very outlandish ideas. In games like Silent Hill, I would say the same thing. But they're done so well, and the real-life elements are done so well that it just works. And this game has had a cult following pretty much since it came out. Now, I don't think this game is perfect by any means. I would put myself like just outside the circle of cult following because although I didn't know about the sequel until today, it's really good. This game is actually really great. And I think a remaster actually suits it for a couple of reasons. For one, they're upgrading the visuals, which is going to be great because I think the game looked good for the time. Over time, the art style hasn't aged in the best way. It's not to say that it looks bad, but it definitely doesn't look as good as it did when it came out, which is totally fine. I think that doing this in Unreal Engine will also you'll be able to enhance the artistic style that you were originally going for, which I absolutely love. Now, the Sinking City's remaster was rated in Taiwan. Now, it hasn't been rated anywhere else, and we don't know a release date for this yet. However, the biggest news to me personally and to most people is that if you already own the game, you're going to be getting the remastered version for free. And it's coming for PC, PlayStation 5, and the Xbox Series X and S. And this is perfect to me, in my opinion. Again, 5 years I think is a perfect time to do a remastered, not a remake. Okay, two very different things in my mind. I also think that this game was just so janky and kind of broken that a remastered really works for it, especially because the story of this game is actually so good. I think it's the best part of the game easily. I think that the character designs and the monster designs and everything like that is also really good, which will only be enhanced and helped by Unreal Engine 5. But this is also a really good thing since they're making the sequel. Now, I didn't know that back on March 6th, we actually got a first look at the Sinking the Sinking City 2s. That's a mouthful of a title. We got some gameplay teasers celebrating the launch of the game's Kickstarter campaign. They're trying to crowdfund over $100,000 for this sequel, which is why I think this remastered is really smart. It's a really good way of just getting people back into this universe because obviously they kind of want to make this Lovecraftian survival game a franchise. And I think that's a pretty cool thing. Now, you can have your own opinion on Kickstarter campaigns. I know everybody does, but it did go live on March 6th and they released a ton of different promotional stuff for it. And I think if this game does come out to be real and actually happens and gets crowdfunded, it could be really, really cool. Also, a lot of what they showed, now obviously this is like pre-alpha footage. They can make it look as pretty as they want to without it actually being real. I think that this is the screenshots and the different gameplay elements for the Sinking City 2 is how the remaster is going to look, which is perfect to me. But yeah, we're going to be going back as Charles Reed, and it's going looking to be really cool. You know, now that I look at it, it looks like the Kickstarter only has 5 days left in it, and this post was made in the morning of the 31st, so I guess the remaster isn't really going to help the Kickstarter that much. They also said that the game's going to have enhanced locations with additional levels of details and different objects, etc. Just kind of the things that you really expect from a modern remaster. And I know I've been glazing it for this entire video, but again, I think that the Sinking City is a really good example of why remasters are really important. I mean, think about the state of everything 5 years ago, right? I don't know if this game came out in 2019 or 2020, but either one, right before a major pandemic, this game probably didn't do the best. I don't really remember if this game did really well or not. I know it was reviewed in kind of a mixed bag. A lot of people really liked it. A lot of people really didn't like it. I think as a horror game, it just works for me. And I'm someone who loves horror, and I love Lovecraftian horror. So again, everything here just kind of worked, but I can definitely understand why somebody wouldn't, if that makes sense. It's kind of like why people either really love Resident Evil and like the newer ones, or really hate the newer ones and love the old ones. But I guess we'll have to wait and see for this to release. Hopefully the remastered version comes out in a much better state than the first one did. Hopefully it drums up some numbers too, since I guess they're going to be done crowdfunding by that time. But hopefully, you know, some people go out and they buy the older game and they can kind of use that revenue for the newer game. I don't know how that revenue, I can't fucking speak apparently. I don't know how that revenue sharing would work between the first game and the second game, but anyway, that's not really important. I'll leave the articles for both the remastered announcement that I just went over and for the article that talks about the second game in the description down below, so you can check it out for yourself. If you remember playing the Sinking City, let me know in the comment section down below. If this game was never even on your radar, or you were too young to play it 5 years ago, I don't want anybody who was too young 5 years ago to play this game to comment, because it's just going to make me feel fucking old. But if you were, let me know in the comment section down below. If you're excited for the second game, if you couldn't care less, if you hated this game, I'd like to hear your thoughts about that too, as long as you're friendly with each other. That's all that really matters. Make sure to check out all my links in the description for my second channel, my dedicated Pokemon channel. My letterbox is in there as well if you like movies and different things like that. This has been Nate, otherwise known as Whikked, and I will see you guys after Wednesday when my wallet is going to bleed. Have a good one. Bye.